Good morning. It is Thursday, January 9, 2025. My name is Stephen Capaldo. Thank you very much for listening. And today I'm going to do something which is a little bit different, which I have not done. I'm going to relate certain things that have been happening in my life for the last couple of years. I don't normally do this because the mission is to spread the love of God and to bring glory to Jesus Christ. I mean, that's the mission. And to serve. So for me, there's not much occasion, or there's not much of a need or relevance for me to talk about myself personally. But I think sometimes it might do some good, for people to know, what's happening in an individual live, and that even if it looks like certain negative things are piling up, that there is still hope. So I'm going to do that. Sometimes people say, well, it's not all about you, but no, it's not all about me, but still that doesn't mean you can't occasionally take some time to relate certain things happening. So what I'm going to tell you started in late January 2023, so it's almost 2 years ago now. I was diagnosed, I believe it was January 30th, 2023, I was diagnosed with AFib, which is basically it's called arrhythmia. It's an irregular heartbeat, and mine was, flutter, race, flutter, race, flutter, race, instead of a smooth. And I suspect, I'm not totally convinced that was all that was going on, because there were some unusual symptoms, unusual things going on that whole day, but I don't want to be accused of having my tinfoil hat pulled down too tight over my head. But it was an unusual event that had never happened to me before. And one way that they tried to correct this heart rhythm issue, because there's rate and rhythm, and this was a heart rhythm issue, was that they tried something called a cardioversion to get things straightened out and get things flowing smoothly, and the electrical current is working correctly. But that didn't take. So, all right. So that one didn't work. That failed cardioversion. I was in hospital for that week, and I think about February 4th, I was released with a huge bag of medications, like 10 different medications. One of them something called amiodarone, which I very naively took for about 6 months, and then at some point I did some research on what it can do to other organs, which I think it did temporarily. Seems to have been the case. But I was, in with a cardio group in the spring and summer. Very pill happy. Just wanting medication and more medication, and I was taking off some medication as we went along, but some of these medications, they can have terrible side effects, and if you're lucky, it's only things like you get drowsy or something like that. But and anyway, so that takes us to January, from January 2023 through spring and summer. And then at the end of the summer, I guess October, it was technically in early fall, I had a meeting with someone called an electrophysiologist, or an EP, who said that if I had a certain procedure, cardiac ablation, that the current would flow smoothly, and the rhythm problem would be settled. All right, so that's one issue, but then things changed very quickly. I only had the one meeting with the electrophysiologist because I moved to South Carolina in November and December. Over November and December, I moved to South Carolina, and I think that that was a good move, at least for me, to have an opportunity to have some time with family. And so things went on. So we are here. We are establishing ourselves late 2023 and early 2024. In February 2024, I went to a new GP, a new family doctor, took a blood draw, had some blood work done, and in March, one of the things was that my PSA number was high, protein specific antigen, which could indicate problems with the prostate. So I was referred to a urologist in March 2024 and had an initial meeting, and then on April 8th, the day of the big eclipse, April 8th, I tried to have a biopsy done to see, what was going on with the prostate, right? But it didn't work that day because I went into another AFib episode. So I was reassigned there in South Carolina to a new cardio group and new meds in April, May, in the spring of 2024. And in June 24, doped up on medication, I was able to get through a biopsy on June 24, and then July 1st, the diagnosis came back that now I have prostate cancer. And the cancer is on one side of my prostate. One side is clear, and the other side, has some areas, and one of the areas is more high risk than the other areas. So, we're juggling three balls now. The heart rate, the heart rhythm, and the prostate cancer. So that's okay. July. That's July 2024. On August 1st, back on the cardio side, it was recommended to me that I should try another one of these cardio versions that didn't take, when it was tried in January 2023. But the specialist said, well, why don't you try it again? It might work. And if it doesn't work, you're just back where you started from. No harm, no foul. And that was the word that was used, or the expression that was used, no harm, no foul. If it didn't work the first time, the second time the failure was spectacular. My heart just stopped beating. And I went into something called SSS, distress paroxysm, asystolic AFib, something like that. But basically the heart stopped beating, but it wasn't my time, so I came back. But then a pacemaker was put in. So there you've got these three things now: pacemaker for the rate, and you've got the medication for rhythm, arrhythmia, the AFib, and tachycardia, the flutter and race, that irregularity. So rate, rhythm, and now also prostate cancer. So that's the big three. So if there was any time when you were going to start crying, this would probably be it. But don't cry, because things are getting better. And the way I describe it is this period of 2023 and into 2024, it really was kind of a degenerative, for me. And then August 2nd, 2024, that was when the pacemaker went in. And then starting a little bit later in August, I started a therapy for the prostate cancer, involving a pill and a shot, and to strengthen the prostate for a few months, and then radiation in conjunction with the hormone therapy. And the hormone therapy worked very well in the sense that it lowered my PSA from 18, which is high, to 1, which is in the normal range, definitely within the normal range. So that part of the therapy has worked very well, and now that part of the therapy is working in conjunction with the radiation treatments. And I have, because I have this one area of the prostate that is where the cancer cells are more high risk than the other areas. So for that reason, I have a program of 44 treatments. Very often it's sort of 30-ish. It can be in the 20s or 30s, but I got lucky. I have 44 of them. Starting on November 25th, 2024, and every weekday, we got some time off for the holidays, but every weekday from November 25th, and we're going to be finishing it up on January 29th. So it's, I can sort of see the finish line. And and it seems, I mean, it seems that things are going well. I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt, but it's very intense. Radiation, when you're putting radiation. Now, we're exposed to radiation all the time in the different gadgets we have, and microwave and this and that, but this is very intense radiation, and you know, they try to create a ring around the prostate to protect the lymph nodes and everything around the prostate, and to protect the whole prostate, even though cancer cells are only in one half of the prostate. So it's something that's advanced more than the most basic level, but it's not something that has spread outside the prostate. So that's a good thing. I mean, that's a win right there. And so that's the prostate, and then I followed up on the cardio side. I followed up with another electrophysiologist. I had only had the one meeting in Rhode Island, but then I met another one. Seems like a very good doctor, December 30th. And he has suggested that there is a way to fix the irregular rhythm by a procedure called cardiac ablation, which eliminates all of the irregular charges, you know, that because really the heart, I mean, the heart pumps blood, but really it operates on electricity, the heart. So when you have arrhythmia or irregular rhythm, it's because the electrical system is operating in a bit of an unusual way, and not a normal way. And that's you know, that's the way that certain hearts work. It's just like, you know, everyone functions differently, but it can put more strain on the heart. You know, if you don't, in certain circumstances, if you don't take care of it. And there seems to be something that can be done to fix it, and to reduce medication, maybe eliminate some of the medication, and that's certainly a goal, is to get off of this, this rip-off stuff. And the thing about the pacemaker that annoyed me too is that with a pacemaker, I mean, this is a commodity, right? So it's bought and sold. So somebody gets paid for selling another pacemaker, and I can assure you it was not me. And it's just kind of a sneaky way. It's a battery, so it's got metals in it. So it's just a sneaky way of putting stuff into you that really shouldn't be in your body. But this is where I have faith in the Creator, that, you know, that the Spirit will guide my steps, in spite of this sketchy procedure of a pacemaker for a procedure that maybe, you know, I should not even have tried a second time. But yeah, I did, so that's the way it is. So we move forward. It looks like there is a way out of the forest here. You know, a way. You know, the pacemaker, all right, it's there already, so it deals with the rate. This new procedure, ablation, would deal with the rhythm, and then the prostate therapy is proceeding, and so far it seems to be proceeding very well. So. And just for a zinger, I'm having a new dental crown put in next week, so, you know, just to add a little bit more to the story. But that's the least of things. But anyway, so these treatments are going to continue until January 29, and you know, every week you have one meeting with the doctor, the oncologist, to see how you're doing. And so far, you know, I'm not hearing anything bad. I'm hearing, and this is a very treatable thing apparently that I have, and so that's good. So you just you know, you do things that you have to do to take care of yourself. And certainly what has happened is combining medical care with self-care. I mean, my knowledge of self-care has gone way up, and, you know, getting my body more alkaline, and, you know, more green stuff, and, you know, turmeric, and, you know, I mean, if you're interested in this and you've done this in your own cases, you take the medical care that's available. I think eventually there's going to be medical care available that is much better than what it's being hidden right now, but it will be much better than what's being publicly made available. The treatments that are available now are pretty barbaric, really. I mean, it's and it will be possible to get better treatments when it won't be possible to hide them anymore. And the self-care, it has to be done. I mean, it has to be done for everyone, because if you look at, first of all, if you look over the generations of family history, and you look at your own personal habits and all the junk that we've eaten, and you look at what the leaders have done, to the food supply and the environment and all this. I mean, it's no wonder why people are getting sick. I mean, everyone's walking around with something, right? I mean, this is the problem. This is why we need a healthy population, and we need a population that, knows how to take care of themselves outside of this matrix of corrupt and incompetent people. Now, the people that I've run into, I've had the good fortune. Most of my caregivers have been quite good. They're doing their best, but microwaving someone like a pot roast, I mean, that really isn't. That's kind of not a. There's not a lot of sex appeal in a treatment like that. Let me put it this way. So if it works, it works. It's good. But the soul never dies. But I mean, I think things are looking up, and it looks like this might work. So anyway, this ends on January 29, and then I'm back to urology with another blood draw to see where the PSA is, to make sure that it's at the low level that it should be at. That's the blood draw on the 17th of February, and the results on the 24th. Now, in between the end of prostate treatments and going back to urology for a blood draw, and then results a week after that, in between is probably when I'm going to get the cardio procedure, the cardiac ablation. So it's like, if I was feeling a little bit bored by the cancer treatments, I'll try another one, do something to my heart, right? So that's it. But I'm determined that I'm taking all of this on. And there was a degeneration for about a year and a half, and now there is a transformation that is happening in the end of 2024 and going into 2025 and beyond. It's restoration. That's what it's going to be in my life. It's going to be restoration one way or the other. And so far, that's what I'm doing, and so far, I'm pleased with what's happening. And I believe it's going to continue to happen like that. So, the only other thing is once all of this is done, that I've been back to urology and I've had the cardio procedure, the ablation, then I have to go back to my GP, my family doctor, and say, if you're going to be my caregiver, there's a few things we have to have an airing. We have to clear the air on a few issues, because this guy is a maniac for vaccinations. And he's badgered me twice about it, and I have to say to him, there's more to read on this than just AMA and Pfizer. There really is a lot more you can find out about vaccinations, and I hardly believe that I'm the only patient you have that doesn't have vaccinations, doesn't take vaccinations. And a few other things like that, things I'm willing to do and not willing to do, and just overall reducing medication, not as many visits, because the thing that I found especially depressing, if I did find something depressing the last 2 years, is the amount of time that I've spent in the system, in the medical system, in doctors' offices, and in a hospital, and pills and procedures, and that that's not the way I want to spend the rest of my life. Maybe I'll live a little less long than someone else, but I don't want to spend it in this corrupt, incompetent, evil medical system. I don't want to live the rest of my life that way. I'd rather say, okay, maybe I won't live quite as long as someone else. Okay, that's fine, but at least I'll enjoy the time that I have. I'll live the way I want to live. So that's another one of my objectives. But I would say, really, this is a story, and I hope you didn't cry. I mean, there was a point where maybe you could have cried, but I hope you didn't cry. And I hope rather that you saw this as a story of, yes, there was a degeneration, but also there's a transformation going on and a restoration that has started as well, and is coming. So my message, if you're in this situation, where things are going bad on the surface, and what are you going to do, and oh me, oh my, and whatever, you have to not give up on the journey of transformation, in spite of all the obstacles that the Matrix is going to try to throw at you, and they're considerable. And I certainly believe that there are things that have been going on in my case because of my background and things that I've said and done that makes me, in a way, a target of some kind, and I don't want to get into the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory stuff. But when you work in certain places and you say certain things that are not favorable to the regime, you're going to draw attention, and there are different ways that people can get at you, right? It's just the way it is. You can believe it or not believe it. You can think that I'm a nut or not a nut, whatever. That's fine. But I think you should be encouraged if you're going through your tribulations. I mean, everybody's going through tribulations. Everybody listening to this and beyond, everybody's going through something, walking around with something, suffering in some way. I could. I mean, I'm going to stop, but I could go on about family situations that have been going on at the same time as all of this. I could go on about that, but then you really would start to cry. So I won't. I won't do that. So I'll just stop there and try to give you a message of hope, even in trials and tribulations. And thank you for listening, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.